Now, a recent report from the World Economic Forum found that the gap between women and men, measured in terms of political influence, economic gain, health and education, will take another century to disappear. Efforts to close the gap are growing and will be a theme at next week's annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Launching there is a new push to train 100,000 women entrepreneurs around the world by the Cherie Blair Foundation for Women. One of the women that they've supported is Pradnya, who runs a vegetarian restaurant in Maharashtra in India.
Earlier, we had a very simple, small business, very different from what it looks like today. I honestly knew very little about how to manage money. Whatever we earned just seemed to disappear on expenses. But after joining this organization, I've started maintaining daily accounts. I know my profits, expenses, and savings. It's because of my savings that I've started my juice center and been able to buy more appliances for my restaurant. It's a lot of progress.
One voice there from India who's been helped by my guest charity, Cherie Blair, founder of the Cherie Blair Foundation for Women, also, of course, an international human rights lawyer and wife of the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Cherie, thanks so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure, Geeta. Thank you so much for having us.
Now, the numbers are getting worse, aren't they?
They are. What's interesting, you mentioned the WEF survey, but the WEF survey also breaks it down into different areas, and they look specifically at the gap between men and women in relation to economic empowerment. And this year, it's actually got a lot worse. So the last report in 2018 said 202 years before there was parity. This year's report says 257. And that's been affected by a number of things. It's partly still the cultural barriers that women face. It's partly women's lack of access to finance. It's also actually that there's not enough care, help for women, and of course women do share the great burden of care. And also technology is actually affecting more jobs done by women than perhaps initially had been imagined, so women are missing out there, particularly because with lack of education and skills, there's not enough women in the STEM industries, which means that they're not getting the new jobs that are being created. So all of that means that the world's got a problem. We're not using the vital resource that is 50% of the population, the female half.
And we know, of course, that affects children's, prosperity and life chances in every individual family when that's the case. Your charity sort of works at a micro level, doesn't it? Can you just explain how you try and reach people? Because you're expanding your numbers and you're trying to reach new countries.
We absolutely are. And we're expanding our numbers, and particularly through our use of technology, because from the very beginning we have tried to use technology to be able to give people access to resources, in particular, for example, in business training. We have a great app called Her Venture, which at the moment it's in Indonesia, it's in Vietnam, it's in Mexico, and it's in Nigeria. We want to expand that because it provides 6 or 7 minute bite-sized lessons with gamification and then an opportunity to talk to other women entrepreneurs in your area who are also on the app. And it allows women, like the women we've seen on the film there, who have businesses in perhaps traditional sectors where women have been, to actually work out how to improve those businesses. Do you remember she said she was making things and she was running her restaurant, but somehow or other she wasn't making money. Yes. And this is about how you organize your business, how you learn the basic business skills, how you diversify your business, how you control your finances, and how you deal with some of those issues of confidence and work-life balance, which every woman has to deal with.
And you're also expanding it to try and target girls.
Yes.
Why, and how old will you start? We're
looking at starting at about 15 now. Most of the women we've dealt with before have been 20 plus, and some of them even 50 plus. But we know across the world, particularly in the lower middle income countries, there's a huge swathe of young people, and there aren't enough jobs for them. And one of the ways, of course, that we can help solve that problem is by encouraging them to look at creating their own jobs, becoming entrepreneurs. How do you do that? How do you tell young people how they can do it, why they might do it, and how they can make the best of themselves when doing it? And that's what we're looking at.
I know you're launching formally in Davos, so obviously there'll be more focus there. If I kind of just want to bring matters to politics here in the UK, the Labour Party, which your husband, of course, led to victory 3 times, has had a crushing defeat in the general election. It's now on the lookout for a new leader. A process has begun. Do you think, you know, with your focus on women professionally partly, that the next leader of the Labour Party needs to be a woman? They've never had one before.
I don't think we're talking about a tokenism here. What we're looking for is the next leader of the Labour Party is someone who's going to take us to victory in the next general election. And for that, it means it's someone who talks to and understands not just party members, but actually the electorate. As we know, most of them did not vote for us last time. So now we absolutely need to reach out to those who have voted for us in the past, who might be interested in voting for us in the future, and make sure that we are prioritising the things that they care about and dealing with the issues and the hope for the future, which certainly was the feeling in 1997, that things were going to get better. And they did.
Except that, of course, Sedgefield was lost to the Conservatives this time. How did you feel watching that?
Well, a great sadness, of course, not just because we, as a family, had invested so much of our time and in Sedgefield, but also because Phil Wilson, the great MP, that lost his seat too, and he previously had been my husband's researcher in the constituency. So
pretty painful. And are you backing any one candidate? Are you going to tell us who you will vote for? Presumably you will get a vote.
Oh, I definitely will get a vote, and I'm definitely going to use it. I'm definitely going to go along and hear the debates, and what I'm going to judge is who is the person that I think is actually not just talking to me. I'm already a Labour Party member. Who is the person that's going to lead us to victory next time by talking to the people who need to be persuaded that we have the answers to the problems that we're suffering in our country and across the world today.
And did you actually vote Labour last time?
I did vote Labour last time, yes.
and how long will you give it if the leadership doesn't take the party in the direction that you think?
Well, I have a great deal of belief in the common sense of the members of the Labour Party. I know, with all the hours and weeks across the years that they put into engaging with the local community, talking with the local community, serving the local community at local government level, at parish council level, school governors, they want us to win. And so we're going to do the right thing.
Cherie, Blair, thanks very much indeed for coming in. And yes, good luck with the launch in Davos.
Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. Now, a new